fine, but guess what? Good health is worth everything. Try a MyPillow. If you don't like it, you can send it back in 60 days. And you've got a 10-year warranty. It's made in the USA. And Mike Lindell guarantees you're going to love your MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. Get a great deal on a MyPillow by using my promo code, and I guarantee you'll get a good night's sleep or you get your money back.
A huge TV audience tuned in for the latest Democratic debate as we hear from USA Radio Network's Chris Barnes.
It was the 9th Democratic debate of the 2020 primary cycle, but it was the first to feature former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg, and the ratings were record-breaking as a solid 19.7 million total viewers tuned in across NBC and MSNBC. It was the most watched Democratic debate in history, according to NBC officials, the number including 5.3 million viewers in the 25 to 54 age range, which NBC said also made the Wednesday event the top-rated Democratic debate ever in that key demographic.
The U.S. women's soccer team is asking for nearly $67 million in back pay and punitive charges. Lawyers for the team and the U.S. Soccer Federation filed the motion on Thursday. USSF attorneys asked for the U.S. District Court in California to dismiss the charges. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
China is suspending more punitive tariffs on imports of U.S. industrial goods in response to a truce in its trade war with Washington that threatened global economic growth. Larry Kudlow, director of the National Economic Council, joins Fox News and says this is great news for U.S. companies.
I think they need U.S. consumer goods. That's point number one, all of our exports. Point number two, there's a certain goodwill here. Point number three, it's consistent with the historic Phase 1 China deal.
Okay.
It's absolutely consistent. And here's something that most economists won't tell you about, in all honesty. Because of the trade deal with China, because of the trade deal with USMCA, Mexico, and Canada, the U.S. is poised on an export boom because President Trump has rewritten the old deals and is now opening markets as well as making structural changes on things like IP theft and enforcement. Here's a hidden point. By the middle of this year, towards the back end, especially when Boeing comes back online producing airplanes again, as I know they will, you could be back in the 3% growth zone. Part of this will be an export boom for agriculture, for manufacturing.
And finally, officials in New Orleans are preparing for Mardi Gras and Fat Tuesday, which is next week. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters Media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Welcome to this evening's episode of Rush Hour. I am your host, Kelly Rush, and we are a production of America Matters Media, the home of quality conversation. You can check us out on the web at americamatters.us. That's americamatters.us, and we are also on Facebook at facebook.com/Reno Rush Hour. That's also my Twitter handle, so you can follow me there and like me on Facebook. We are also an interactive program. You can check us out on... check us out, yeah. Call me, 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255 from anywhere in the world. Or you can drop us a line in the Facebook Watch Party comments box. And we're also on YouTube, the YouTube Rush Hour Radio Show channel, or the America Matters Media Rush Hour Radio Show channel. So we're all over the place. And I've got a very, very special guest today. Are you clipped?
I am not clipped, but I will be clipped here in a second.
Clip it there, buddy. This is Sean Carey. So where do I begin? My goodness. Sean helped start this radio station, or this radio broadcast network 9 years ago, almost 9 years ago,
Yes.
in July of 2011, with Nevada Matters, with Eddie Floyd and Debbie McCarthy and Craig Moss, with our little 8-foot tables and Naugahyde boardroom chairs across the hallway here at the Reno Town Mall. And man, thank God for you.
It brings me great joy to be in this studio and to see what you have done with this company. It is truly magnificent. And as a founding member of Nevada Matters, it just makes me so happy. And I'm so happy to be able to be here today to talk about this very, very important topic.
I am so thrilled to have you, but also let me mention that you are also the owner, one half or part owner with your husband, Anton Novak, of the wonderful, amazing, terrific Rounds Bakery, and located, what's the actual address?
We're at 294 East Moana
Okay,
in the
294.
Independence Square.
There you go. And that is between Kitsky and South Virginia on
That's
Moana.
correct, yes.
Right there. And you guys just have some of the best food in town, period, end
Thank
of
you.
story.
Thank you.
Whether it's not a cronut, regular donuts, which I mean, I say regular donuts with quotations around that. No such thing at Rounds Bakery.
You're making me blush, Kelly.
Bagels, the
Yes.
only real bagels in town.
I have
actual,
real water bagels.
real New York style, parboiled, actual East Coast bagels. And I
Yep.
can say that as a true East Coaster, I know what a real bagel is. And actually officially crowned by Julia Scotti, comedian extraordinaire. I took her there for actual bagels and lox.
Nice.
And she has christened them official. So you got the, you've got the crown there.
That makes me so happy to hear you say that. Thank you so much. I am very proud of my business. I have worked diligently over the last 6 years that I've owned it.
God, 6 years already.
We've gotten to a pretty great place.
It is truly great. And as suppliers for 50-some businesses in the area, including Tesla, building a huge commercial kitchen now. It's only going to grow larger. And you still have the wonderful store right here at 294
You know my
East
favorite
Moana.
thing about Rounds Bakery?
What's that?
My favorite thing is the fact that I have been able to achieve a level of success to where I have been able to myself step aside for the business a bit so that I can raise my 3 children.
And that's right there is true success.
Yeah.
And you couldn't say it any better. So
Thank you.
thank you. And you've brought a whole tray that's out there, but I've got this pesto pasta salad right here. And Anton was on City Talk with
Right.
About Town Deb on Wednesday, her show from 4 to 5 every week, and brought another amazing spread. So we have been blessed this week. Go ahead, Brother Greg and Betty, go ahead. Please help yourselves. Help yourselves. Take some home, please.
I gotta say, I had the pretzel bites for the first time the other day. Magnificent.
To die for.
Thank you.
So
And
good.
that is our wonderful engineer and vice president of operations, Christian Meyer. And Christian, also go out and help yourself when you have a second.
Oh, you know I will.
And so yeah, I love to share too. And so anytime I can make anybody go to Rounds Bakery or get some of the bagels and donuts and stuff and share those around, I'm happy
Well,
to.
thank you. I so appreciate that.
So wonderful stuff. And your philanthropy in the community is just unparalleled as well with Rounds, and your food and your generosity with funds. So
We
I have to thank you for
decided
that.
a long time ago that we were going to grow our business with the success of the community and with the help and the generosity of the community, not on the backs of it. And, as far as my business is concerned, I am proud to say that are my sandwiches a little more expensive than you might get at other places? Yeah, maybe. However, I pay a living wage. My median wage in my business is $15 an hour. I offer full health care for all of my employees. And those are things that me as a business owner have made me very, very happy. And that's the success that I am happy about.
Well, and the quality of your food is higher. the sustainability of your containers.
Yeah, we're going all compostable.
Is you use compostable or reusable. So, I mean, and your market is a little different too. I mean, you market to a bit of a higher demographic as well.
Yes.
So, you know, they don't mind paying those prices. What they look for, they seek out that type of packaging or that type of, you know, the higher quality meats or breads or, you know, an alternative style of.
I use ingredients you can pronounce.
Right. I mean, you know, exactly.
And I'm happy to do that.
Organic or non. No preservatives and things like that.
I have organic
Your stuff
lines.
expires.
Yes, true. I've got organic lines, I've got gluten-free lines, I've got vegan lines, and I have built my kitchens in order to be respectful of that.
Right. Nothing cross-contaminates.
Like with my family, we have some very strict dietary needs, and I run my kitchen in my house that way, and I like to respect the people that come into my restaurant the same way. I don't just say, oh yeah, well, you're not having this.
Right.
I keep
like
them
some
all
restaurants
separate.
do.
That's true.
So Rounds is different, and they differentiate the same way. So, and we appreciate that in the community. So we've got to go to our first break. We will be back for the second segment discussing the caucus process and why it is so important with Sean Carey after these messages. Stay tuned.
Home at Last opens doors to family, to freedom, to finally making it yours. Home at Last, a program of the Nevada Rural Housing Authority, opens doors to rural home buyers with incomes of up to $135,000, providing down payment assistance of more than $22,000, plus access to our exclusive pet adoption program. From Gardnerville to Fernley to Carson City and even Sparks, rural happens here in every county in Nevada. Learn more at homeatlastnv.org.
Rich is just a really, really, really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich, no. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you wanna come and test us,
if you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station, the power of radio since 1967.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the second segment of today's Rush Hour. I am Kelly Rush, and I have The inimitable Sean Carey with me today.
You flatter me.
I do, but you're so flatterable.
Thank you.
And I just adore you so much. And it's so funny because we had kind of a contentious beginning when I first
all those years ago
came to America Matters Media, and I'm kind of nothing politically. I'm technically, I guess, a constitutional conservative libertarian. I'm keep your hands off your money, keep your laws off my body.
Okay.
Small government, small as possible. I'll call you if I need you. Kind of,
Sure.
I prefer kind of what our founding fathers intended, which was the community is supposed to take care of itself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, you're supposed to take care of your own family, and then as the community at large needs help, you prepare your own safety nets and you take care of each other, and then outward from there. And then, the government was a municipal thing created kind of within it, the communities to protect each other from each other physically more than anything else. And then it just turned into this behemoth that was not intended, based on the blueprint that we were given. And so now we're kind of at this massive
Well, I would say the
crossroads.
first thing that I would say is that prior to being in the baking industry, I was in the politics industry, and that's what I did for my career.
You were very good at it. Very good at it.
So that's why I'm so glad to be here to
And
talk to you.
please explain the process, because we've got what we got now, and we've got to deal with it. So the process is...
Well, here in the United States, we have a very interesting process when it comes to our politics. And the caucus process is, it's a very, very different animal. I would start by saying that I do not believe that for the 2022 and especially 2024 elections, I do not think that the caucus process is going to still be in play. So let's talk about what that caucus is. The first thing is, Kelly, I would ask you a question. Who do you think nominates a candidate to run for a political party or run on behalf of a political party?
The party.
Yes, that is correct. The nomination process is ultimately...
The Democratic National DNC Committee, yeah.
Yes. The nomination process for a candidate is ultimately a function of the party. It is not a function of the people.
Right.
And this is one of the things that I think that is going to be going by way of the dodo, because we just can't do this anymore. We can't have, to go off on a tangent here, the Democrats cannot credibly stand up and say that we should not have the Electoral College, but at the same time, they only use the party nomination process using delegates to nominate a person to run for the head of the party.
Right.
So, caucuses. It's a very... It's an antiquated process, but it actually ultimately it's a really fun process. It's a neat process.
I caucused for Ted Cruz
Oh,
in
wow.
16.
Great.
Just to see what it was about.
Right. And, when you caucus, you go into a room with the neighbors that you live with in your same voting precinct. And then you all stand around and you talk about why I support Amy Klobuchar, or why I support Bernie Sanders, or why I support Elizabeth Warren, or why I support any of these people. And you say, this is my belief. And then you take a vote.
God, this is good.
Thank you. And then you take a vote, and then everybody moves into their, physically moves into their place in the room. And then we count up the number of votes. And if there's no clear winner, then the negotiations, that's when it really starts happening, because people are like, well, I know you support Mayor Pete, or I know you support Bernie Sanders, or I know whoever. And then you start to try and use real...
The power of persuasion.
Precisely. To be able to recruit these voters to come over to your side so that you can get that 15% threshold of support to be able to get delegates that will take you to the national convention.
It was fascinating.
It truly is.
When I did it. And the interesting thing about it is how pure It really was. I mean, the people who do it are staunch about it. They are really, I mean, they watch each other like hawks. I mean, they're geeks.
Yep.
They're geeks about, I mean, they watch each other like hawks. There were a couple people around each person with the envelope, making sure there was no shadiness going on or funny business.
Correct.
The people that were doing the persuading, like, made sure, I mean, it was almost, people used Robert's Rules of Order and were very strict about the process and made sure it went properly and above board.
And that's important.
And it's so important. And I was really proud of that.
Yes.
And proud
yes.
to have participated in it, proud to have been, like, you know, been my staunch about it. And
the democratic process in any country, but especially here in the United States, is one of the ones that people should be involved in.
I agree.
And, you know, that's the reason why I wanted to come here today to talk to you about this, is it's not that, excuse me, I'm going to tell you to go vote for whatever person. I'm here to tell you, get out and participate. Be part of this process. Because as Americans, I mean, what can we do? What can we do to affect change in our own lives? We can get out and vote. And it's very saddening to me that more people vote on America's Got Talent than people vote for the presidency in the United States. That's a problem. And it should be changed. And I don't care who you are supporting for president. I don't care who the engineer is supporting for president, or these people that are walking by here at Reno Town Mall. I don't care who they're supporting for president. But what I do care is that the fact that they will go out and participate and say, my name is such and such, and I am going to be part of this democracy in the United States. And that is what's most important.
I agree. And, you know, I have my feelings about how the whole thing works, and, you know, having run for Congress in 2000 and what I learned then and what I know about the whole thing, but it is still critical that you get out and do it anyway.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
because
Get
it's
out
going to
there
change.
and be part of it.
We are in, you know, I've been saying this for a long time, you know, and I'm sure you remember me even saying 2020 is going to be a tipping point. 2020 is going to be a tipping point. We are in the midst of the end of the system as we know it, the system.
You're quite correct.
And you and I are going to have to fix it. I mean, we're going to, I can't wait.
That is true.
Can't wait.
That is true. This is probably...
But we still have to go with what we got.
This is the most consequential election that this country has ever faced in the history of this country. This is the most consequential election. And it's not about whether or not you support Trump or whether or not you support somebody who's not Trump. The fact is, this country is going into a different direction than it has gone for the last 250 something years. And we need to make the choice, what directions are going to go.
Excuse me. Absolutely. And, you know, just if only to send that message of numbers, you know.
Yes.
Oh my God. Shush. I forgot to turn. That's my ringtone.
Good grief.
Yikes. No, I can't answer that. Spirits in the material world.
Right.
By the police.
Love it.
But, yeah, sorry about that, everybody.
And so what questions can I answer for you about how this works? Or what it's about or why it's important?
I think telling the folks that have never voted even, or are just coming of age, getting ready to vote. You know, this will be their first.
Why is this important to me?
Election.
Why is
What's
this
in
important
it for
to
them?
me? What's in it for me? This is a great question. This is a great question, and thank you so much for asking that question. Ultimately, as humans, we answer, or we look at life through the prism of what's in it for me. And unfortunately, too many Americans do not look at politics as what's in it for me. But, you know, I ask the question, do you like roads?
Right.
Do you like
legislation.
schools? Do you take a look at the number on your paycheck that has been taken out to go towards taxes and Social Security? Do you look at those things? Do those things matter to you? If those things matter to you, then this is a process that you should take an interest in. And, unfortunately, so much of the political system and the political process in this country has been so corrupted and so maligned, and it's just turned into this terrible thing that is so partisan, and it's so divisive and ugly. But what I would say is that regardless of that, you still need to do it. You still need to be part of it.
Absolutely, because politics is hideous, but legislation and governance is critical.
That's true.
And that's what you're voting for.
Yes.
That's what you're voting for. You're voting for those people who are still there fighting for what's right. There are 536 of them.
Yep.
You're just voting for one dude.
Well, and it comes down to very, very easy questions. Like, for example, I'm not a female, but I would look at any female person that walks in and say, do you care about what happens between the top of your forehead and your knees? Whose choice is that?
Right.
It's your own.
Right. It's not even of the business of the government. It shouldn't even have anything to do with the federal government.
Correct.
So, yeah. We've got to go to another break. We'll be back for the second half of today's Rush Hour with Kelly Rush and Sean Carey after these messages. Please come back.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd with America Matters with Eddie Floyd, and I want to tell you something. I normally never do personal endorsements. I'm going to today because, as a lot of you know, I've been suffering from a knee operation, and I went finally, at the advice of my doctor, to Reno Cryotherapy. I have never in my life been so excited, and the results are phenomenal. 6490 South McCarran Boulevard, Building D, Suite 29. The phone number 689-8888.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
3, 2, 1. Oh no. Which button am I?
When every second counts, you can't wing it.
Guys, a little help up here?
In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So make a family home fire escape plan. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year so everyone knows what to do when they hear. Prepare your family at ready.gov/fire drill. Brought to you by FEMA, the Ad Council, and Make Safe Happen.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the second half of today's Rush Hour. I am your host, Kelly Rush, and as I said at the top of the show, we are a production of America Matters Media, and this is an interactive program. We would love to have you join us. Give us a call toll-free from anywhere on the planet, toll-free 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. You can text us if you feel like it, 775-237-2266, or you can just drop us a line in the Facebook comments watch party comments box. Like we've got Kelly Orr, Ivano Santameri, Anton Novak has joined us. Hi, Anton. Mike Higdon and Vanessa Fraley Swanson have jumped in there. We've got Debbie Maxfield, Courtney Meredith.
Lots of fun people
are all jumping in there.
Hi, my friends.
Hi, everybody. And so, yeah, it's I love seeing that when folks come in on the video there. That's so much fun. And so you can wave at the camera right there. Wave at the camera here. Hi, everybody. And of course, everybody's welcome to come join us right down here at our studios in the Reno Town Mall. We love that. When people come in live, they can get behind a mic. We've got 4 open ones here. And of course, like I said, you can call in 844-790-TALK, 844-790-8255. So let's talk about the candidates.
Okay, let's talk about them.
What do you, Vanessa? Hi, I haven't seen you in forever, girl. How are you doing? What do you? Tell me what your thoughts are. Who do you like? Who don't you like? Who do you think should drop out?
I will take a perspective. Right. I will take a perspective that is a little bit more of a 10,000 feet sort of perspective. The Democratic field for the nomination is super strong. Absolutely wonderful. All of the people who are up there who have thrown their hat into the ring, with the exception of one person that I don't think should be in that ring, which is Michael Bloomberg.
What kind of joke is that?
I mean, and it's been irritating to me to watch the debates and see the candidates say, well, I'm the most qualified or I'm the most prepared. No, you're really not, because everyone, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, all of these people, Tom Steyer, all of these people are eminently qualified to steward the ship that is the United States government. And, from that, we are here with an embarrassment of riches. We are certainly with an embarrassment of riches, because whoever we get will be a qualified and formidable opponent to stand up to the current president and say, I've got a better vision. I've got a better plan.
Sure. And which one do you have for preference? Do you lean? Have you voted yet?
I have voted. My husband is very involved in the caucus process. He's going to vote tomorrow. I won't really go into who I'm supporting, but I will tell you the things that I like about the different the different candidates.
That's fair.
I think that looking at this from, putting on my political scientist hat, I think that the caucus is tomorrow. I think that these are Bernie Sanders to lose. I do think that Bernie is going to walk away with a victory tomorrow. I think that the dark horse in this whole entire thing, especially in Nevada, I think the dark horse is going to be Elizabeth Warren for tomorrow.
I can see
I don't know how many of the listeners out there in Radio Land tuned into the debate on Wednesday, but Elizabeth Warren's takedown of Michael Bloomberg is something that will go down in history.
That's what I heard. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but yeah, I heard she just nailed it.
But when you're taking a look at the Democratic electorate in this country, the Democrats are looking for somebody who can stand up to the current president.
Of course.
And that's why it's not so much about the plans. It's not so much about whether Mayor Pete thinks that we should have Medicare for all who want it, or Bernie Sanders who wants Medicare for everybody. None of those things matter. What matters is the Democrats want somebody who's going to be able to stand up to the president, number one. And number two, ultimately, one of the things that we're looking for in this country is we are looking for somebody who can soothe the worried electorate. The people in this country, they're angry, they're upset, they are unsure, they're worried. And whoever is going to who's going to take the White House in 2020 is going to be a person who can offer that to the country to say, we got this. We have a direction. We're going to go in this direction. And whether or not that is 4 more years of Trump or whether or not that's 4 years plus of a new Democratic president.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's what this is all about, is really who can go up. Who can go up against Trump. And, because they're all basically saying the same thing issue-wise. I don't really see anybody.
And it's important to note that Trump is not in the way that this country has always been. Trump is not the president of this country. Trump is a different person.
Right.
And he's never governed like a president. There is nothing about, say, George W. Bush or George H.W. Bush or Ronald Reagan. There's nothing that those men share in common with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is very, very different. And the country has had 4 years, almost 4 years, of his style of leading. And now it becomes a referendum on whether or not that should continue.
Right. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see.
It shall.
And is there any information yet about numbers or anything coming back as to which way it's leaning yet?
Well, one of the first things that I will tell you is that looking at 538, all of the polling currently, all of the polling is showing all of the Democratic candidates are polling ahead of Donald Trump in 2020. Whether or not that holds, we shall see. But all of these numbers are not, they're not currently real. All the horse race numbers are not real because
they never are.
We don't have a nominee and we do not have people coalescing behind a person.
Right.
I think that Nevada, as much as people like Joe Biden want to downplay the importance of Nevada, which, by the way, as a Nevadan, I'm not okay with. South Carolina should not be your firewall. Every state should be your firewall. Don't tell me that, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, we don't matter. We do matter.
He is so dead in the water, it's not even funny.
I think that some predictions that I can make after Nevada, if Joe Biden comes in 4th or 5th, which I very much think is definitely a possibility, I think that he's going to have to end his campaign. Bloomberg's not on the ballot here. The whole strategy...
That Bloomberg thing is just insane.
That's a whole different show.
Right?
The whole strategy of trying to wait for a quote-unquote firewall is not a good strategy for how to run a campaign in the United States, because one of the things that has changed with the electorate in this country is the fact that people are much more involved and they're much more engaged and they much more want to have their voices be heard.
We have access to so much more information than we ever have, so we're able to be a lot more engaged.
And 24-hour news cycle,
absolutely,
internet, all of these things are reasons why things like the caucus process, we have our phones. These are all reasons why the caucus process is antiquated. This is reasons why the electoral college process is antiquated, and they shouldn't be here. And the thing is they're going to go away.
It's going to go away. So much of it's going to go away, including a lot of these people.
That's true. So I say tomorrow, Bernie Sanders is going to win tomorrow. He is going to win Nevada.
Yeah.
He is going to win, and I'm putting my hat on it right now. He's going to win the Latinx vote. He is going to win the college-educated vote. He is going to win the female vote. And then this becomes a very, very interesting situation for the rest of the candidates, because the rest of the candidates need to really take a look at it, because we have had so much talk about Iowa and New Hampshire being so white, and that's true. They're white and they're old, and that's great. Wonderful states, been to both of them, campaigned in both of them. However, when candidates are coming out and saying that they're not as diverse and they're not representative of the rest of the country, okay, Nevada is the first state that is the most representative of this country.
Correct.
There are people of all different colors and stripes that live in this state.
No question.
And these people, and Nevada is I love politics in Nevada, because Nevadans are fired up about our politics. And so therefore, they want to get out. They want to talk about this. They say, this is what I believe, and this is what we're going to see tomorrow. And so, like I was saying, I think that Elizabeth Warren could be a dark horse here. I do not forecast that Klobuchar is going to perform very, very well. I do not think that Joe Biden is going to perform very well. I think he's going to come in 4th or 5th. I think Elizabeth Warren, after her, monumental takedown of Michael Bloomberg in the last debate, I think Elizabeth Warren is finally showed up and said, "Hi guys, I'm here." And Mayor Pete, I think Mayor Pete's got a great future ahead of him. I don't think that
he has no
is
chance
going to be what it is, but he
not
has
a chance.
great,
But yes,
great
he does.
career.
This is excellent for him. I love him. He's great. So we've got to go to another break. We'll be back for the fourth and final segment of this evening's Rush Hour with Kelly Rush and Sean Carey after these messages. Stay tuned.
Have you, a friend, or family member been diagnosed with cancer? Dr. Forsyth at the Forsyth Cancer Care Center offers an all-inclusive program to treat adult types of cancer. The Forsyth Immune Protocol Cancer Treatment Plan, in a current prospective study of over 6.5 years and 1,200 adult cancer patients, has produced a remarkable 30 times greater survival statistic when compared to conventional full-dose chemotherapy. Greater than 95% of all their patients choose low-dose insulin-potentiated life chemotherapy, using only 10 to 15% chemotherapy dosing with insulin. Dr. Forsyth has long been considered one of the most respected physicians in the United States, particularly for his treatment of cancer and the legal use of human growth hormone. Located in Reno, Nevada, Dr. Forsyth has seen patients from all over the world. To schedule your consultation today, call 775-827-0707. That number again is 775-827-0707.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite non-profit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsyth Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
Looking for family entertainment? How about remote-controlled car racing on Nevada's largest indoor dirt track? Whip It RC Raceway and Hobbies. No equipment or racing skill is necessary. Rental cars are available and the staff will instruct you. All ages are welcome, with classes for beginners, weekly races, and a monthly competition with a $100 cash prize. Want to buy your own 1/10 scale RC car or need parts on repairs? Whip It has a full hobby shop featuring recognized brands like Lowesley, Associated, Traxxas, Axial, and more, and now carries drones and drone parts. Whip It is the perfect venue for birthday parties or company and other special events. That's Whip It RC Raceway and Hobbies, located at 1005 Standard Street off Panther Drive exit in North Reno. Give them a call today at 775-686-8415. On Facebook and Instagram, search for Whip It RC, offering family fun for everyone 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the fourth and final segment of today's Rush Hour. I'm Kelly Rush, and I've got the wonderful Sean Carey sitting across from me, which is such a lovely sight to see.
Thank you.
I adore you so much.
Thank you. So we have a lot of fun
I just got so caught in
going on.
Just staring through. So yeah, we're talking about the caucuses and the political process and why it's so important. And we were just talking about the Democrat candidates. And so let's talk about the issues.
Okay.
And so, of course, the biggest one is Medicare for all. And I don't even want to talk about that one really, because it's never going to happen, and that, to me, it's just a big unicorns and fairy dust campaign promise to get people to vote for them.
I would disagree with you here.
Okay.
And the reason why I would disagree with you is trying to go towards something that is better than what we have.
And and I absolutely.
Medicare for all is not something that's going to happen in the next decade.
Single payer.
It's not going to happen in this country because it's going to take time to wherever the process needs to get to. It's going to take some time. And the fact is it's not so much, and what I would like the electorate to think about is it's not whether or not you believe in Medicare for all or whether or not you believe in private insurance. The overarching issue here is that there's a problem with our insurance system. And this is all of the Americans saying there is a problem in the way that this system is being governed. And so when the Democrats come out with these sorts of ideas, look at that from a more pragmatic perspective, which is at least they're trying to make some changes to fix them.
However, I completely agree with that, and I agree with the concept. However, the way they're going about it and talking about it is so wrong and so bad, because it plants in the mind of people the idea of free health care, single payer, government taking care of me, and this and that. What they need to be selling is comprehensive health care reform.
And I don't disagree.
Starting and selling it as starting from not necessarily starting from scratch, but an overhaul, overhaul, and getting people's ideas. Yes, we are going to fix this from the ground up.
And people inherently are scared of this, but here's my response to that. My husband is a decorated war veteran, a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy. He has a Bronze Star, many awards. And you know what? He's a veteran, so therefore he has the VA for his health care, which, by the way, everybody who's listening out there, what is the VA? That's that whole Medicare thing that you're scared of. It's the VA. It's the same thing.
But it's a limited it's a small subset of people. There would be no possible way of putting 350 million people under the care of one blanket plan.
Yes,
because
but what I like and respect about the Democratic field is that they're saying something needs to be done.
Right, and so are the Republicans. Everybody is saying something needs to be done.
Let's also be very, very clear with what's going on in this country. We have spent 3.5 years with a president who has broken every single norm in this country. Every constitutional boundary has been challenged or broken. If a Democrat is elected president, that person is going to spend their first term just trying to put this country back on a different path. There's not going to be any giant, huge changes to legislative policy until the second term.
Right. No, and I get that. But again, with this, I'm just saying the way that they're couching it as, these multi-trillion-dollar,
Well,
things.
I have 82 employees in my business, and I provide healthcare for all 82 of those employees. And I have to shop for healthcare on the private market. And my employees' healthcare, their ability to go to the doctor is based on the price that I can negotiate when I'm talking with the insurance companies. And inherently, that is wrong.
Right. Oh, and the whole, don't get me wrong. I mean, the whole system is screwed. And, part of it's the government, part of it's the insurance companies, part of it, is regulations, part of it's the FDA, there are a lot of moving parts why this is wrong.
Big part
Much
of
of it's the government.
A big part of this debate is going to go away.
Right.
I mean, when we have a nominee who I will say is most likely going to be Bernie Sanders, when we have a nominee who is running against Trump, not running against other Democrats, that person, healthcare is not going to be the number one issue.
Right.
It's going to be, we need to change the direction of this country. This is part of how to change that direction. But if Bernie Sanders were running for president against Donald Trump today, and he was the only candidate running, to run on a platform of only changing healthcare is not a winning platform. There are too many other things that are important and that are top of mind with people.
Right.
What wars and defense spending and jailing little brown children. These are things that are much more top of mind with people, and this is why healthcare is it's not necessarily a winning issue. It's an issue that we can aspire to,
right?
But it's not an issue that's going to. It's not going to win or lose this election.
Sure. What are some of the other critical issues that you see?
I think that there needs to be a return to normalcy.
Yes.
I mean,
it
shocks me
over and over. I'm sick and
when
tired.
I have 3 children. I've got a 7-year-old daughter, and I'm watching the news, and the president's on the news, and I have to push the mute button because he's using language that my little girl has to go and stand in the corner for using. That's not what this country is about.
Right.
That is not what this country is
It's
about.
not the country I grew up in.
And it's not the country I grew up in either. And the fact is we have to clear out a whole bunch of this stuff, and then we can make the decision about what we need to do going forward.
Well, and a lot of it's the media though too. They don't need to be showing all that crap.
Agreed. The corporate media in this world
they could choose
it's
to show different stuff, and that we could, with 2,081 channels, they could allocate a set of channels to that garbage, and if people want to shove it in their face, they could choose those channels instead and have the regular broadcast channels be.
This is why I tell people, PBS, NPR, BBC, Al Jazeera, these are the places that you should be going to for your news, because the news in this country is
entertainment. It's
almost
not news.
irreparably tainted
it's
because
crap.
there's way too much opinion and not enough news.
Right.
There are hosts that I like, there are hosts that I appreciate, and I watch for fact-finding reasons.
I don't watch any of it.
But when I start to see nothing but just pontificating, I turn them off. That's why I said PBS, NPR, BBC.
BBC is good.
That's where people should be going to get a bigger and different perspective than what we currently get.
Oh, thanks, Vanessa. Vanessa Bradley Swanson said Sean Carey and Kelly Rush are two of the smartest people I've ever met.
Thank you. I try.
She's so sweet. I want to keep my insurance through my husband's work at the VA. Yeah, I don't blame you. We need to get rid of $5,000 deductibles. I know, at that point, most families at that point, you're self-insured. I mean, $5,000, $7,000, $7,500, $10,000 deductible.
Well, take a
Why
look
pay
at
a
it from
premium?
this perspective. I take one pill that is a preventative drug that I take that costs $2,500 a month.
What?
Yes, and thankfully I've got insurance and I have the means to be able to pay the deductible. But down in Australia, that same pill is $8 a month.
See, now that's the government. That's not the insurance company. That's the FDA and the government and the
It's
pharmaceutical companies,
in as much as they will not stand up to the pharmaceutical companies and make those changes. And this is where somebody like Bernie Sanders,
well, it's because they're getting kickbacks,
has some very, very salient points to make, where he says we are going to negotiate with the drug companies. We are going
Why
to
aren't we doing it
or
now?
open
He's
it
a
up
senator.
to, well, he's one of 50, and he is. But, this is why, we open up the markets to other countries. Buy our drugs from Canada. The antibiotics that we rely on.
80% of our drugs are made in China. Why are they not cheaper? It's ridiculous.
And, Medicare for All is a very, very big sticking point with many, many people. But I would say that is not the issue that should be the number one issue that you're voting on. It's a very important one. And for all the people out there who are on the progressive side of the spectrum, I would tell you, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, all of these people, their plans are better than what we have today. They're all better. And so get out there and support somebody.
Or just look at the issues, look at, on all sides, all candidates, all parties, and figure out for yourself what you believe.
The conversation needs to be had. And, as we're coming up on the end of the show here, the one thing I would tell everybody is please get onto your phones and go to iwillvote.com. Find your caucus location and go tomorrow. If you have an opinion about these people who are running for president, go out there and share it. Share it with your neighbors.
There you go.
And be part of the process.
Well, Sean Carey, thank you so very much for joining me and bringing wonderful food from Rounds Bakery and sharing your exquisite knowledge about all things political. Do it again soon.
Yes.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying,